It began with the Netherlands, famously in the 1970s, who, although it wasn't really legal, they have now just this year, just last December, implemented a system to have legal production to supply some of the famous coffee shops. And then there was Malta, who've put in place a system of legal home growing and non-profit associations, membership-based associations, that if you live in Malta, you can join and have legal access to cannabis. And that model has now been copied in Luxembourg, in the Czech Republic, and most significantly in Germany, which is the biggest country in the European Union, and it's hugely politically significant. Germany sits at the heart of Europe and is now, this year, has passed a law to have legally regulated access to cannabis for adults for non-medical use. So there is a lot of movement in Europe, but it's quite interesting. It's quite different from what's happening in North America because these are non-commercial models. Significantly, EU law doesn't allow to have legally regulated retail, commercial retail for non-medical use. So these interesting constraints of EU law in particular, but also to some extent UN law, are creating a legal model within the EU that's non-commercial, not for profit. So we are at this interesting point in the evolution of the global cannabis debate where you have legalization is happening on every continent, but in very, very different ways. So you have these commercial models in the US and Canada. You have the very strictly state-controlled models in Uruguay, for example. And now in Europe, you have these kind of home-growing and cannabis social club, not-for-profit models. So we're in this interesting laboratory of change, and it's really important that all the different countries are sharing these experiences, that there's international dialogue, and so that other countries who will inevitably follow on this path can learn from what's working and what's not working to inform their own policy on cannabis as we move forward.